And welcome to the BBQn Sports podcast, where we talk all things Kansas City sports, barbecue, beer, and more. This is Jason Weaver with my co-host Kelsey Moore as we lead you off into the next inning.
Welcome back to another episode of BBQn Sports. I'm Kelsey, he's Weaver. We have a little bit of Royals for you at the end of the podcast, talking about how their season finished. We have a great beer to try for you today, but first we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Off to a 2-2 start after that win against the Eagles. Offense looked good as expected. Defense did not look so good. Weaver, what's your take on that game?
Yeah, obviously we got the win. I did think that the defense would do a lot better than it showed this week. I mean, giving up 387 yards to Jalen Hurts is not good looking forward. The defense still has a lot of room to improve. Offensively, I mean, we did what we got to do. Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns, 141 QBR. I mean, here's the deal. Our defense might not be good, but we're still going to go out there and we're going to score 35 plus points, and we're going to make the other team have to score 40 to win. And there's not a lot of teams out there that can do that. So honestly, we're going to win in different ways, but if we want to really compete in the playoffs, the defense still has to get fixed. I still see a lot of issues. Our D-line did not look that great, in my opinion. I think maybe we got to move Chris Jones back to D-tackle. I don't think we're getting the production at end that we want. So the defense is still scary. Offense looks great, and it's getting better. So, I mean, there's not much more on that. I mean,
Yeah, the offense looked about as good as it possibly could look this week. They were hitting on all cylinders. The running game looked good. Mahomes looked good. Hill had another huge game. Hill's, second or third in the league in receiving yards right now.
I think he's got 453 receiving yards. He had 186 this last game. So
Mahomes is, I think, fifth in the league in passing yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is seventh in the league in rushing yards. If the running game, which the last 2 weeks we've played not so great rushing defenses, but if the running game keeps up the way it is, our offense might be better than it's ever been. That being said, our defense looks more like the 2018 Chiefs than the 2019 or 2020 Chiefs. There's a lot of season to be played still. You touched on the defensive line. I think it's more than just not looking good on the defensive end. I do agree. Chris Jones looks like an average defensive end right now, and he's one of the top 2 defensive tackles in the league when he plays that position. But our defensive line looks terrible. Period. Not just Chris Jones. It looks horrible. Frank Clark's been out, but even when he's healthy, he doesn't look good. Reed's been a disappointment. And then our linebackers, who even knows if Willie Gay's going to play this year? I think they expect him to be out week 1, and now he hasn't played in the first 4 games. So it's a typical Andy Reid's not going to give us an answer kind of situation. At this point, I'm not sure if Willie Gay will play more games or if our newly acquired receiver, who hopefully can stay out of trouble, will play more games. I don't know. The defense, I think the defense has plenty of time. I don't know why Daniel Sorensen's still playing.
Whoa. Why Daniel Sorensen's still playing? Hold on. You can take this either way, but Daniel Sorensen right now is leading the team in tackles.
Daniel Sorensen coming to last week had 9 missed tackles. The next closest in the NFL was 6.
But he's
terrible.
He's still leading our team in tackles. He's got 30. Next best is rookie Nick Bolton.
That's because our team is terrible at tackling. Daniel Sorensen is horrible.
Hey.
He's terrible. So he's 30 for 39 on tackling. That's god-awful. That's a horrible statistic. And he's terrible in coverage.
At least he's there. To make the tackle. The rest of the guys on the team aren't even there.
When you have Juan Thornhill as a backup safety, Daniel Sorensen should touch the field when you have 3 safeties in the game, and that's it. Or when you want to play linebacker, one or the other. Ben Neiman shouldn't be on the field. I don't know why Ben Neiman's on the field. I don't know. Those 2 wear me out watching them 2 play.
Does Ben Neiman even have a tackle?
He's still our dime linebacker and still hasn't deflected a single pass in his entire career.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
and he's been a dime linebacker for over 2 years.
I mean, he's got 11 tackles, which is still better than Chris Jones.
It's
A little different,
I mean,
though, obviously. He's on the line. But
linebackers
yeah.
should have more
Yeah.
more tackles than linemen, but yeah, a safety should not lead our team in tackles. That's a horrible statistic,
Yeah.
but that doesn't
Safety,
make Daniel Thornton good. Daniel
safety,
Sorensen's
linebacker,
terrible.
linebacker, cornerback. That's our
I mean, those
top
linebackers
five.
should be up
Yeah,
there. They should probably
Hitchens
be your top.
and I mean Bolton's looking really good right now. I agree. But that being
Yeah,
said, hey, Sorensen,
Hitchens.
he might have missed 9 tackles. Maybe those guys shouldn't have been there. I mean, he should. I don't think he should have had the opportunity thus far to make 39 tackles to begin with. I mean, he only made 30, but you know, regardless, he's there. He's there.
I'm sure he had more missed tackles as well. In week 4. I just didn't look. That was coming into this past week. But you are correct. He shouldn't have that opportunity. He's still terrible. It doesn't change the fact that he's not good. I can't even stand. I just don't understand. Juan Thornhill was great his rookie year, got injured, and since then has never gotten a chance again. Spags is holding something against him.
Maybe it's just me. It just looks like he's lost a step. I think I've talked about that previously. It just kind of looks like he's lost a step, lost a little bit of that.
What do you mean? He doesn't even get plays. His snap count has been below 15 every game except for week 1 against the Browns when we were playing 3 safeties all game.
Yeah.
He plays special teams some. They don't give him many snaps on defense. But yeah, the offense might be better than it's been. It might be the best the offense has been. They looked unbelievable against the Eagles, and I know people will say it's the Eagles, but they looked unbelievable against the Chargers too, except for turning the ball over 4 times. They moved the ball at will.
I mean, they're still putting up tons of points a game right now, so
tons of yards, tons of points.
They got 134 total points so far, which is
in the league or
at least in the AFC, it's tied for first, and then it would be Cardinals second against the Cardinals. Yeah, so I mean, 134 points for. I mean, that's the thing. We're gonna make teams score more than us. That's what we're gonna do. And until the defense get better, that's how we're gonna win.
And that's the good thing is the offense will keep us in every single game. I'm not worried about that. Realistically, we could be anywhere from 1-3 to 4-0 right now. We've had 3 games that could have went either way, and that's because the offense kept us in games. The offense will keep us in every single game. We've played 3 playoff teams and potentially could be 4-0. But also the defense could lose us every single game. I don't think many teams will score as many points as us, so I don't think there's any reason to panic about us making the playoffs. But once we get to the playoffs, the defense has to play better.
Yeah, I mean, we can get rid of the panic button. The panic button is if we lost the Eagles. We didn't lose the Eagles. So, and I think we pretty much just set the line. We've drawn the line in the sand. We know who we are. We're going to put up a lot of points. We're going to make you score more than us to win the game. And I'm okay with that. I mean, that's fine. I do think our defense still will get better later in the year, but I'm fine with that right now. I mean, we got the Buffalo Bills next week, and then after that, the schedule gets a little bit easier throughout the year. So yeah, I'm not worried at all about that. The Broncos, that's going to be 2 wins, especially with Bridgewater out. I mean, we're fine. We're still a playoff team. We're going to be just fine.
Yeah, the Broncos definitely came down to life a little bit this week. Even when Bridgewater played, I looked up his stats earlier. He was 7 for 19 or something like that for 40-some yards. Their offense looked abysmal.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the Broncos. The Raiders have been down by 14 or more points in 3 of their 4 games. That's just not either they figure out how to come early in the game or they're going to be that's not maintainable. You can't win games playing like that. The Chargers look good. We should have beat the Chargers, but they look good.
Yeah.
They do look good right now.
They made the Raiders look really bad, actually. I thought they did.
I mean, that was a big honestly, we're a game back now. You got the Chargers 3-1, Raiders 3-1, Broncos 3-1.
Yep.
This Sunday is going to be a big game. I don't think anyone people are like, "Oh, the Bills are definitely better than us." And they might be because their defense is better than us. But I don't think anyone's going to blow us out because our offense is going to keep us in the game. I think it's going to be a tough win for the Bills to get if they beat us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a home game. Are we going to go ahead and just transition right now into into the game on Sunday. I mean, I think that's what everybody really wants to talk about anyway, so beat the Eagles. But, yeah, I mean, the Bills game's going to be a big game, and it's Sunday night in Arrowhead, so it's going to be an electric crowd. They're going to be rattled. I mean, I'm a little worried about Buffalo's defense. I'd say that's the only thing that does scare me. I think we can, I will put up points, but I think they will slow us down a little bit. That's for sure. I mean, they've only given up 44 points so far.
Yeah, but they've played the Dolphins. Who have they played? The Dolphins, the Steelers, the Texans, and
they have played.
No, we don't play the South. We play the East.
They lost to Pittsburgh in the first game, which was abysmal to me and just bizarre. And I mean, honestly, that was a shocker. Okay. Then Miami didn't put up any points. It was 35-0. And then they beat Washington football team 43-21, and then they crushed Houston 40-0. Yeah, so you're right. I mean, the points that they have put up, or I guess the points against, are not that much.
It doesn't matter. Either way, they haven't given many points, but they haven't played a good offense. The offenses they've played have been terrible. And
good.
Even I don't think that the thing is, like, everyone's like, that's what I was saying earlier, the Bills are better than us because their offense is about as good and their defense is better. But does anybody think that any defense is going to stop the Chiefs' offense? I don't think it really matters at this point. Like, either we get our own way or we score. That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, I mean,
the only time I've really seen the Chiefs' offense shut down was when the Patriots played keep away in the AFC Championship game, in one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. Offsides on D Ford. I don't think anyone's really stopped the Chiefs from scoring since Patrick Mahomes has been here. I guess I take that back. The year we won the Super Bowl, the Colts and Titans back-to-back games, but Patrick Mahomes was injured and hobbled, and I just don't see the Bills' defense being. They might slow us down. I could maybe be wrong. I just don't see it being as big a factor as everyone's thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to be who scores more points.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Looking now, I mean, Miami Dolphins are 1-3, Pittsburgh Steelers are 1-3, Houston's 1-3. So, yeah,
and all those teams aren't good because their offenses are terrible.
And Washington football team is 2-2. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, given a couple goose eggs, I guess that that's good. But yeah, they really haven't played anybody. Yeah, goose eggs impressive in the NFL. Let's be honest. But yeah, you're right. That's 100%. We're gonna put up points. They're gonna put up points. It's gonna be a crazy game. I'm just glad we're going.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Everyone needs to tune into our TikTok because there will be plenty of TikToks, I am sure of it, for this game when we're there Sunday night. I can't wait. It's going to be an electric crowd, and trust me, I will be loud.
It is going to be electric. And, really talking about the Buffalo Bills at this point, and any statistics they have is kind of mute considering the teams that they went against. So I don't think there's much to talk about with that.
Everyone is looking at the Chiefs being 2-2, and there's context behind that. We have played the hardest part of anybody's schedule so far. Honestly, we played the hardest four games out of anybody in the NFL right now. Like, we've played 3 teams that will probably make the playoffs, and 1 team who has surprised people on how well they played. Granted, I don't think the Eagles will finish with 7 or 8 wins. I think they'll probably finish with 5 or 6, but they've looked better than people thought they would. And 3 teams that should make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the entire league this year has looked a lot different than I think people thought. A lot of teams are
maybe more parity, and
I guess that's what I mean. There's a lot of parity this year. Lots of teams beating other teams that didn't look like they should, and stuff like that. I mean,
I could be wrong, but I think a big reason for that is because of the Chiefs. Like, everyone expected the Chiefs to be the best team, and sitting at 2-2, people are like, "Wow, this could be anybody's league now."
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs were the betting favorites for sure coming into the season, and a lot of people's favorites. And sitting at 2-2, people were like, "Oh man, the league's a lot different now. It could turn out a different way." At the end of the year, I still think it's going to be Chiefs, Bills, Browns, and the AFC. The NFC, though, you got the Bucks, the Packers, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Cowboys. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the Cardinals were going to be good anyways, and they beat the Rams, so I was pretty happy about that. So I wasn't as high on the Rams as everybody else was. I guess I don't know. I mean, they're both still really good
I'm
teams.
still high on the Rams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
still
I'm
high on
high.
them.
I'm
They can
higher
still
on
definitely
them.
win that division.
They definitely started out way hotter than I thought they were going to. Let's put it that way. And then watching the Cardinals beat them though was just I don't know. I was just happy about that. So
So
well,
what's your keys to the game this weekend?
well, let's see what Josh Gordon does. I mean, is he going to come out and just run a few fly routes? Does he actually know some of the plays? Like I feel like that's
He won't.
an important piece.
Andy Reid's kind of set a precedent. I feel like I think he'll be 15 plays or so. I don't think he'll get a lot of plays in this weekend.
You think it's all going to be distractions though?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to go draw up plays just for Josh Gordon because that would be kind of when Josh Gordon's in, we're going to throw a play. We're going to throw the ball to Josh Gordon. I don't think that's how it'll be. He might be the second or third option, but I just don't think he'll play a lot in this game. I think he'll be out there just so the Bills have to worry about him a few times, and I think they'll ease him in. Andy Reid's always done that with guys he's picked up, just eased them in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the huge piece. Is just them having to focus on him is going to be. It's going to leave somebody open.
Yeah. I like I said, I'm kind of I was barking for an extra receiver at the beginning of the year. I've been barking for it all year, and I was happy we picked up Josh Gordon. But honestly, our offense has looked great without that extra receiver. So I'm interested to see if Josh Gordon can stay healthy and stay out of trouble is the more important thing. How our offense will look with him and Hill and Kelsey. And then Hardman is kind of just an X factor at that point, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think a big thing that people are missing is our interior of offensive line has looked amazing. Tooney, Humphrey, and Trey Smith. The problem with our offensive line is right now Orlando Brown and Lucas Niang have not looked so good. But the way they've been able to pave the way, if you take away that Ravens game, the running game has had so much room to run the football. Clyde Edwards-Helaire averaged like 7-8 yards a carry last week. If, like I said, if that running game can stay like that, this offense is
he had another 100-yard week, so that's pretty big. No, I don't think he has a rushing touchdown yet, but I believe he has 2 receiving touchdowns.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he has zero rushing touchdowns. He's 291 yards on the season so far. So.
Oh yeah, and earlier I just wanted to correct you earlier because I just want everyone to know you said Mahomes' quarterback rating, not his QBR.
Oh, sorry.
What was Mahomes' QBR last week?
Quarterback rating was 141. Rating.
In the year is 82.9, first in the league. So yeah, there's rating and QBR. QBR is much better to go by because it takes into account situation like garbage yards, garbage points don't count as much in QBR as they do in rating. Rating is strictly just statistical, which is fine, but it doesn't take into account the situation and stuff like that. QBR takes into account when they get those yards or when they get those touchdowns or interceptions. So, for example, like if Mahomes on 3rd and 15 threw a bomb down the sideline, it would hurt him more to throw an interception in that situation in rating than it would in QBR because they're going to punt anyway. So if he throws an interception in that situation, that's not really that deadly of an interception.
I got what you're saying. All right. Going back to key takeaways, though, for this game, I mean, I would like to say that our defense needs to play better. Chris Jones needs to be a playmaker and get a couple sacks, but I just don't really see that happening. So, in my opinion, key takeaway is, I mean, we got to put up 35-plus points. I mean, that's what we got to do to at least give ourselves a shot at winning the game.
My key takeaway for this week is not even for the Chiefs defense to be good. It's to make the Bills kick field goals instead of score touchdowns. Our offense is good enough; it's going to score points. Please do not let the Bills just walk into the end zone once they get to the red zone. They did better last week against the Eagles. They caused them, or they made them kick some field goals instead of touchdowns. It was the Eagles, so we'll see how that goes against a good offense. But just our offense is going to score points. That's not going to be a question. Question is, can we make the Bills kick some field goals? And this new people going for it on 4th down, that's smart. Like against the Chiefs, people have figured out you got to score touchdowns. They figured it out. But use that against teams. Your 4th down defense has to be great if people are going for it on 4th down. Make it longer than 4th and 2. Make sure it's we've got to win first down. First of all, we're getting destroyed on first down, so that second down is longer than 2nd and 3. But then make sure that 3rd and 4th down are longer than 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2. Make them go for it on 4th and 5 and see if teams want to do that. 4th and 7, see if teams want to do that. I know the Chargers did it to us. They had got the penalty. It was 4th and 9 and still got the first down. But if teams are having to do that over and over, it's going to make it a lot harder on teams. I think I saw a stat that we're allowing like 12 yards of play on first down. How is that even possible? Teams aren't even seeing second down.
Yeah, I mean, the 4th down thing's not going to go away because every team knows we're putting up points, right? They're all scared of our offense. But it's a trend in the NFL too. I think you've seen it in the Chargers Raiders game as well. But yeah, I mean, every single time you're going for it if it's even close against the Chiefs. First of all, the defense not very good. Second of all, you know that you got to put up points or you're not going to beat us. And that's just that's the fact. And the defense has got to show out for this. I mean, I think eventually this is really gonna work in our favor. I think we've seen an unfair, I would say, amount of 4th down plays that we didn't make a stop on. I do think that's going to work in our favor later in the year. I don't think that's going to be the case all year long. Not everybody's going to keep going for it on 4th down and getting every single one. It's like
the way our defense is playing. I don't know, dude.
It's like playing Risk against Emily, and she just rolls the dice with 2 guys there and takes out an army of 30 every time. You know what I mean? Like, eventually it's got to stop. Okay.
But the problem is the team that's going for it has the army of 30, and our defense is an army of 2 because they're terrible. That's the problem. Our defense just gets lucky if they get a stop. Seriously though, I don't know that I agree with you. If we can get stops, it'll work in our favor. I don't know if we can get stops because in the NFL, there's this thing like people think that most teams just have an open playbook all the time. That's not really how it works on defense and offense. 1st and 2nd down, you're playing a little bit more mellow. 3rd and 4th downs when you bring out or usually 3rd down against the Chiefs, it's 4th down now. You bring out you dig into your playbook for your best plays. Like 3rd down, teams bring more pressure than they do on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down, offenses bring out a play that they maybe wouldn't run as much on 1st and 2nd down. And people are using those plays on 3rd and 4th down now, so they have 2 downs to get that against the Chiefs. This is something in the NFL that probably people should have been doing a long time ago because if you give yourself an extra down, you have a lot better chance of getting 10 yards. But people are really using it against the Chiefs right now. We've got to figure out how to make that go against the other team, and I don't really know the answer to that. But we've got to figure out how to make that work in our advantage.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like we're just removing field goals from the game by going for it on 4th and 2. Field goals are only going to matter at the end of the game. At the beginning of the game, you should be going for it. I mean, especially against high-power offenses. But I mean, I don't believe in the take the points thing so much anymore because teams are proving that, well, at least against the Chiefs, if you don't and you go for it and you get it, you're way better off. Your success rate's going to be better against the Chiefs, and we're going to be. And we've seen this 2 years ago. Teams were more aggressive. The Baltimore Ravens were more aggressive. Yeah, because they knew that to beat us, they've got to go for it on 4th down. They got to get those plays. That's the only way they're going to win. They never did until this year, but you know.
I think it's definitely increasing the frequency that people are getting it. Like people are doing it more. But I don't think it would stop even if we could stop people. I think people realize now that the Chiefs' offense is that good that you have to go for it to stay in the game. Because we've seen it time and time again. Teams look like they're in the game against the Chiefs. They get held to a couple field goals, and the game's over. And that's how deadly this offense is. It's crazy to think, but they're scoring on every drive right now. Like, every single drive, they're scoring. Unless they turn the ball over, they're scoring on every drive.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm not that worried right now. We have plenty of time to get a little bit better on defense. The offense looks amazing. The offense looks fantastic. Like it'll be all right. We just gotta get a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. Start making it so when people go for it on 4th down, it works to our advantage instead of theirs. Get a few stops, even if it's just 1 or 2 stops. That can be the difference in the game. They're getting it on every single 4th down.
I think
like it's ridiculous.
I think if we got if they punted the ball on Sunday night, if there's a punt, the other team punts the ball, the crowd might go crazy.
Please don't say that. That brings back nightmares of 2003 in that Chiefs Colts game when no one punted the ball and we lost to Peyton Manning. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, if there is a punt on Sunday night, I think fans might just go crazy.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about the Chiefs for a minute now. What's your prediction for this game Sunday night? We will be there. We will be loud. The crowd will be crazy. I don't know what we're having to eat yet, but we'll definitely make a TikTok about it, whatever it is. What's your predictions for the game Sunday night?
All right, so I said field goals earlier are not gonna matter, but ours are gonna matter. So we're gonna put up 41 points, and they're gonna have 35. So 41-35 Chiefs. It's gonna be a wild game.
I'm going 42-28 Chiefs.
Woo! All right, we're pretty close on what we're looking at there.
I'm telling you guys, this is a game that everyone's perspective of the Chiefs right now is they're good, but they're not great. The Chiefs are still the class of the AFC. I don't care what anyone tells you.
Yeah, it doesn't
The offense is too good. This offense, like, people don't understand how good this offense is. They don't get stopped. Like, they legit don't get stopped. Everyone is going to realize again that the Chiefs are still the Chiefs come this weekend. The Bills are good. It's going to be a tough game, but we're going to pull away at the end. All right. So Weaver left me with picking the beer. We have about 6 beers in our fridge or so. He left me with picking the beer this week. I picked this Snapper from Logboat. It's a Columbia, Missouri beer. I'm sure plenty of people have heard of Logboat. The reason why I ended up picking this beer is because Logboat announced today. If you haven't been to Logboat in Columbia, you should go check it out. It's great. They announced today that they're going to be expanding on their original location. Yeah, they have an expansion, so they're gonna have more plate room to brew their beers, and they're gonna have more seating, and it already is nice there. You got to go check it out. But they're putting a bar upstairs. They're expanding on their brewing. They got a lot of good stuff going on there. So check out Logboat in Columbia. Great place. Weaver, what do you think of the beer?
So yeah, we did do a Manhattan, Kansas one, which not exactly local per se, but we're trying to encompass everybody here. There's tons of beers in Kansas City that we're going to review, don't worry. So
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've had Snapper multiple times, so I'm letting Weaver rate this first.
Longboat Brewing Company Snapper, American IPA.
Logboat.
Why do I always say Longboat? I swear I say that every time. Logboat, yes. What's the alcohol content on this bad boy? 7.2, man. You would not.
I'm pretty sure it's over 7.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that actually. Very good.
I know it's not as hoppy as you would think.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely not as hoppy. Maybe that's why it's an American IPA. I'm gonna go in 8.2 on this. I like this better than the last IPA we did for sure. It's very, very mellow at the beginning, and you don't have that dry taste, that dry hop taste at the end. So, this is a good IPA.
So yeah, I don't remember what I gave last week. A 9, maybe.
Yeah, you gave it a 9. You really liked it.
Okay, yeah, and I do like double hops beers. Like I thought it was good. I will tell you though, Snapper has some of the best flavor for an IPA I think I've had, and I love City Barrel beers, but Snapper's right there with it. I give this one like a 9.5. I love Snapper.
Woo!
I could drink them all day if it wasn't 7.2% alcohol, and I'd be trash after 4 of them. But
that's our highest rating so far.
I mean, Snapper's a very popular beer for a reason.
Yeah.
It's very popular. It's a good.
And if you are here just
but I've had it multiple times too.
If you are here just for the beer reviews, we did have an impromptu beer review on our TikTok actually. So when I was referencing the last IPA we had, it was actually from TikTok, which was, what was it? Space Dragon DDH IPA. So double dry hop IPA. Awesome beer label. Make sure you check us out on TikTok. I think we're going to do some more beer reviews, impromptu beer reviews on TikTok. I think we're wanting to do some October and pumpkin beers, so definitely follow us and tune in for that.
We'll probably do a couple at the Chiefs game on Sunday, so be ready for that.
A couple.
I'll bring some beers. Don't worry about it. I'll have them.
Maybe some on Saturday too. We'll see. Oh, and the chip challenge. I think we're gonna do the chip challenge one day here soon. Get ready.
We'll see how crazy daughter's 1-year-old birthday party gets, we might do some beer reviews on Saturday.
A 1-year-old birthday party. We're doing beer reviews and a chip challenge.
Yep. All right. So if you haven't checked out Logboat, do it. It's a great place. But we've got one last thing on the agenda today, and that's the Kansas City Royals, whose season ended with 74 wins. I think somebody predicted that the first episode of this podcast.
You were on the
I'm
money.
not sure.
Yeah, you were on the money.
I believe their over-under was 73.5. I think. I just heard someone talking about it. So their over-under was 73.5, so they hit the over by a half a game. That's Vegas for you, folks.
So, most disappointing thing really coming out of this, I mean, Salvi, it's not really disappointing. Salvi hit 48 home runs, but he didn't hit that 49th home run we were hoping for, so he's not the standalone home run leader for the Royals. And actually, it was caught by Vlad, so he wasn't even the standalone home run leader for the year either. But he did lead the league in home runs. Vlad caught him, 48, so they're tied for first. But yeah, I mean, so he's tied with Soler forever now, because, I mean, it's unlikely we ever see another home run year like that from Salvi. I mean, hopefully it happens again. I don't foresee that happening. I mean, he's a big guy and he's a good hitter, but I just don't see him having another 48 home run season for sure. So
48 when Kauffman's your home stadium is an impressive amount. He did lead the league in RBIs as well.
Yeah, 121 over 117. So still, I mean, really, good.
Hats off to a great year for Salvi. We were really hoping he'd be the standalone leader in Royals history for home runs. Unfortunately, he's going to tie it with Soler. So in the future, everyone will just forget about Soler and only mention Salvi when we talk about the home run. No, I'm just kidding.
The only other, I mean, I can't really say the only other bright spots for the season, really, I guess, is Nicky Lopez ended the season with a 300 average, so that's pretty solid. And then, I mean, with stolen bases, we could talk about Whit Merrifield had 40 stolen bases. I mean, other than that, there's really nothing to brag about. I think that ended second in stolen bases there. That being said, though, Bobby Witt Jr. finished the minor leagues with a 290 average, 33 home runs, 29 stolen bases, and 97 RBIs. That's a year.
That is a year. And he's not the only one who had a good year in the minors either. You got a few guys for the Royals that had good years in the minors.
Yeah.
Which brought us to our discussion about Salvi playing DH next year, but we'll talk about that a different time.
Hey, he finished the year this year as a DH, but yeah.
You know what's really funny is Yachty played first base for the Cardinals on the last day, and I was like, maybe Salvi will just go play first base. Maybe he won't go to DH, maybe he'll just go play first base.
They've talked about it for sure. I mean, I don't think we have Santana for another year. Honestly, I think this might be his only year here. So I mean, we got to put somebody there.
Yeah, and I mean, Salvi's a good choice for DH too. I don't know how anxious they are to take him out from behind the plate because he's a good leader behind the plate as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I 100% agree with that, but I do think you got to start thinking DH backup starting next year.
No,
I really do.
I agreed with your take. I completely agree because you want to extend his career as well as he hit this year. You want to keep that going as long as you can.
Yeah,
I completely agree with your take, but I understand why the Royals would be hesitant to do that.
If you want
such a young pitching rotation.
Yeah, if you want another season anywhere close to the production that Salvi had, it's gonna happen from the DH standpoint.
So what? We gonna have our way too early predictions for Royals wins next year?
Wow. Yeah. Let's go ahead. They're gonna be a 500 team, and there's going to be a lot of improvements there. I don't think they make the playoffs based on this year. I don't even think a 500 team would have made the playoffs. So I'll have to double check real quick.
Nah, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, so...
Remember the Red Sox and Yankees were the wild cards then?
Yeah, Red Sox with 92 wins, Yankees with 92 wins are the wild card. So that's pretty crazy. So yeah, like I said, I don't think they make the playoffs next year. I definitely think we're a lot closer to 500 ball, and I really just hope that come September, we are playing ball that is somewhat meaningful. That if we win 5 games in a row or just something like that, if we just get on a hot streak, we've got a chance to make the playoffs. That just makes it more fun. Honestly, it really sucks when it's the All-Star break and the season's over. I mean, it really takes the fun out of it. Now for ticket prices, it comes in my favor. But
So yeah, team tickets are nice. So obviously we won't hold you to this because I'm gonna I just came up with this idea. I didn't prepare for this at all. Just give us a win total for next year. We will obviously have a chance at the beginning of the season to actually give us a win total, but just give us a number that you think how many wins the Royals will have next year.
so, I mean, I said 500. So I mean, 83 wins.
And I figured this would happen. I figured you would be just above 500 and I'd be just below it. I'm gonna say 70, 78 wins. I don't know. I mean, you never know. You don't even know what the team's gonna look like next year. We're just throwing numbers out there for the fun of it.
Yeah, I think.
I hope it's 88. Like I hope that 90 wins is possible, but I think we'll see a little bit of improvement.
I think the big issue going into next year and the really big question mark is I don't think we've seen enough development from the young pitchers to really say that this guy's going to go out and win 15 games, right? Like I don't think we've seen enough development from our young pitching staff to say, yeah, they're definitely going to win this many games. We'll see what the Pacoda projections come out with. I would expect that they're going to be pretty low. But I always like.
I agree with that. We were talking about the young rotation a couple weeks ago, but we didn't mention that the young rotation isn't exactly like it's not like any of those guys are looking like they're gonna be 20-win starters.
Yeah.
Like they're all decent pitchers.
Again,
none of them are
very young.
off the walls and very young. I think
Yeah.
what was out of the 4 that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, the oldest was 23.
Yeah.
Like between 21 and 23, I think.
So
something like that.
So realistically, next year, I mean, if you really if there's going to be a guy that's going to be a habitual 20-year or a 20 win guy every year, next year is going to be the leap he takes, and he'll win 15 games or maybe even more, and it's going to look like that guy is going to be the future ace of our team. And I hope that next year, and I believe probably next year, that we're going to get really close to finding out who our starting rotation is going to be for the next few years.
So I saw a tweet. This is going back to the Chiefs. We've pretty much worn out our Royals segment. I saw a tweet. Yeah, I saw a tweet a couple days. Actually, it was the day of the Raiders and Chargers game, Monday night. And a guy said that all 4 of the teams in the AFC West have top 10 uniforms. What do you think about that? NFL uniforms, if you're ranking 32 uniforms, how many of the AFC West teams would be in the top 10?
Okay, well, first of all, you already know my point of view on uniforms. First of all, the Chiefs need something different. I'll just be honest. Like, I want to see, like, yellow on yellow, just like you do. Preferably a black jersey and red pants or something like that, just my opinion. So, yeah, they have 4 of the top 10. I mean, I'd got to go break it down, but there's no way.
Basically, they said the Chargers were basically at the top, and I agree with that. I think the Chargers are near the top. They said that the Raiders are top 5, Chiefs are somewhere between 5 and 10, the Broncos are the worst of the 4, basically at like 10.
Okay, and this is in all of football, so all 32 teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna do this real quick. This might be a TikTok. All right, so best jerseys in the NFL does the AFC West have 4 of the top 10? Okay. Cardinals, do they have better jerseys?
Better jerseys than who? First of all, we need to decide who's the worst in the AFC West.
Oh, in the AFC West?
I agree with the take that it's the Broncos. If the Broncos went to their older jerseys and had the blue and orange that they used to have, I would like them a lot more. I don't like the Broncos jerseys right now, though.
Okay, yes. Yeah, okay. So the worst would be the Broncos, yeah, because you're right. I mean, if we went back, their old school jerseys are sweet, but I don't really care for what they got going on right now.
So that means we already have 3 teams ahead of the Broncos because we have the Chiefs, Chargers.
So what? We just gotta pick 7 teams to make this not top 10. Okay, so
let's. Okay, you go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just we'll just start at the top, and we've got to get to 7 teams that have better jerseys than.
So
than
let's
the
hop over to
Broncos.
the AFC North. Are the Ravens better than the Broncos?
Yes.
Are the Steelers better than the Broncos?
No.
Are the Browns better than the Broncos?
No.
Bengals?
No.
Ooh, I would think about the Bengals.
I mean, maybe,
Titans?
but no. Titans? Yes.
Really?
I think there's a theme here. I think I like blue and I like black.
The Titans uniforms are not that good. Jaguars?
Yeah. I like Jags.
Texans?
No.
And who did I not
Colts.
mention? Colts.
Maybe. But probably.
No way. The
Maybe.
Colts aren't better. Patriots?
Yeah, I do like the Patriots jerseys.
Those are terrible, dude. They need to go back to their throwbacks as well.
I like their throwbacks, but I do like their
The
jerseys.
Dolphins?
No.
Jets?
No. I mean, their green on green is pretty sweet, but that's really specific to say their one scheme is good.
Nah, Jets are dog water. Bills?
No.
Really? I think I'd pick the Bills over the Broncos. Cardinals?
Yes.
Seahawks?
Yes.
Rams?
I'm going to go no. Maybe. It'd be close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I put it up for the Rams.
Yeah.
49ers?
No.
Packers?
We can skip this whole division here. No.
You don't like
no.
Packers, Vikings, Lions, or
I
Bears?
don't like any of them, yeah.
Buccaneers?
Nope. Old school, yeah.
Falcons?
Falcons, no.
Yeah, the Buccaneers old school. I like those too.
Yep.
Panthers?
Yes.
Yeah, they're better.
Yeah.
And then who else did I not mention? Saints?
I'm not big on them.
Cowboys?
No.
Football team?
No.
Giants?
Skip that.
So it's
Yeah.
actually really close. You
Yeah.
say they have 4 of the top 11.
Well, I mean,
It's actually really close.
yeah. Still,
I never really thought about it, but when I started thinking about it, I was like, he might have a case. Like, it might legit be a case.
yeah. I mean, my personal opinion, Seahawks, Cardinals are probably 1 and 2. So I know I like both those.
I agree. I think the NFC West probably have the best. I like the Rams too, honestly.
Yeah, and then Jags and Panthers are way up there as well.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I was surprised when I started looking at it, and I was like, they're actually pretty close.
But I also would have put like a majority of those before the rest of the AFC West though. So
wait, you don't think the Broncos are the worst? You just said they were the worst.
no, I think they're the worst in the AFC West. I'm just saying
you're
all the
saying a
teams
lot
we
of
just
AFC
I definitely
like
would have
6 through 11.
Yeah. Like,
Okay. I think the Chargers might have the best.
You think the Chargers have the best?
The Chargers are definitely one of the best. Their uniforms are beautiful.
Are you like? Do they wear the yellow ones, the yellow jerseys, or are those just like? For sale?
No, they wear yellow pants usually. Powder blue, yellow pants.
Okay. Well, they sell a yellow jersey. That's why I was wondering.
So same theme. We're gonna have to get off here. We're gonna have to cut it off. But same theme. Because after I said this, I thought of this. Quarterbacks in the AFC West. Obviously, there's 3 of them: Herbert, Carr, and Mahomes. How many of those guys are in the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL?
Wait. There's 4 quarterbacks in the AFC West.
Yeah,
well,
but Bridgewater, there's 5 if you count Locke, but neither of those guys are in the top 10.
I mean, I guess if we're counting backups, there's a lot more,
But we're talking about 5 guys that have played, 3 guys that are relevant to this conversation.
Okay.
Carr, Herbert, and Mahomes.
So,
how many of them are in the top 10?
2.
Where does Herbert rank in your top 10 quarterbacks?
I mean,
about?
Probably like 5, 6 right now. He's playing really good. But Derek Carr.
So where's Carr rank then?
I don't think he's in the top 10.
Let's see. I'd have Herbert and Mahomes ahead of him, Jackson ahead of him.
Yep. Russell Wilson.
Well, I'm going to go by division.
Okay.
So you have Jackson, Roethlisberger, Mayfield, and Burrow. How many of those guys are ahead of him?
Jackson, and then ahead of Carr, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just go Jackson for now. I think you can make a case
agree.
for Mayfield and Big Ben, not so much anymore, but you can make a case for Mayfield. But okay, go ahead, just Jackson.
So for the sake of argument, even though the Texans are idiotic and Deshaun Watson's just rotting on their bench, you have Tannehill, Watson, Lawrence, and who am I leaving out? Tannehill, Jackson, Lawrence, and Wentz.
Okay, so
How many of those are ahead of him?
So Watson, obviously, and then we've already had this discussion before. So Tannehill, I believe, is maybe 10. We'll play it for now, but I don't know if he's playing
Do you
that.
think
He's that caliber
you think
this year.
Tannehill's better than Carr?
I mean, last year, yeah. This year, I don't know.
But right now, if you're rating your top 10 quarterbacks,
Okay,
would you
then
have
no.
Tannehill?
No.
Josh Allen,
Yes.
Mac Jones. What's the Jets? What's his name? The rookie, Zach Wilson.
Okay. Is he the guy
Tua
that threw?
Tagovailoa.
Is he? Zach Wilson threw a ball from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line during the game.
Probably. He has a
Did
strong
you see
arm.
that? And it
didn't.
was he wasn't he wasn't set either. It was a Mahomes-esque throw, except it went from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line. So, anyways.
Yeah, he has a strong arm.
Moving on.
So Josh Allen's the only one in that division, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So then in the NFC West, you have Russell Wilson. He's probably better.
Yep.
You have Kyler Murray. He's probably better. Matt Stafford.
I've always liked Matt Stafford. So, and if I'm going to say he's better than Carr, yes.
Yeah, I agree. All three of those. And then you have Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. Neither of them are better, right?
No.
NFC North, you have Aaron Rodgers. Better.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins, I think that's a tough one. I'll let you make the call.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the same caliber, just like I think Baker Mayfield's really kind of the same caliber. So yeah, I mean,
since we counted Deshaun Watson, we'll leave Cousins out.
Yep.
And then you have, I guess Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. I don't know who you want to say the quarterback is there.
Yeah, no.
And then Jared Goff. So
No.
none of those guys, right? All right. Tom Brady,
Yes.
obviously. And then you have Matt Ryan.
Not so much anymore. I mean, he's right there in the same level, but yeah.
I agree Carr's a little bit better now.
Yeah.
The one that is really iffy is Sam Darnold.
I mean, I that's another one where he's younger. So if I had to pick a team right now, I'm going to take Sam Darnold over Carr for longevity reasons. But I think it's the same caliber of player. I mean,
Okay.
he's a little better on his feet, I'd say.
So then Jameis Winston, no.
No.
And I think in the NFC East, you've only got Dak, right? You got Dak Prescott, and then you've got whoever the heck Washington football team throws out there that day, and then you've got Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts. So you've got Dak, right?
Yeah.
So we've got Derek Carr basically in that 10 to 15 range, 10 to 13, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys. I mean, I think there's obviously a tier of the great quarterbacks, and then the good quarterbacks, and then the guys that can get you to the playoffs and probably win you a game. I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 of those guys that really fall in that line.
I think we need to start doing something like this, like have tiers of quarterbacks and tiers of teams every week, just at the end of our segment. You know,
yeah,
why not?
Absolutely.
With the Royal season being over, we got to fill a little time.
We're gonna have to talk national sports, I guess.
Well, we won't actually talk national sports. We'll just work that in at the end.
Yeah.
All right. You have anything else for us, Weaver, today?
That's all I got, man.
All right. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our TikTok. We have Twitter. We haven't done a lot on Twitter, not going to lie to you. But keep it real and don't stop smoking the meats.